Welcome to the adventure of a lifetime. Today we're going to show you 19 of the 22 species of venomous reptiles that call Arizona home. Arizona has more species of venomous reptiles than any other state. From elusive rattlesnakes to stealthy Gila monsters, this journey will take us deep into canyons, up desert trails, and across rocky outcrops. Each of these venomous reptiles are amazing to see, but venomous reptile number 12 is absolutely incredible. Are you ready? Let's go! Our first stop is here in this rocky desert, home to one of the most famous rattlesnakes in the world, the western diamondback. This rattlesnake is one of the most widely found venomous reptiles in Arizona. This species is large, impressive, and is the superstar of the Arizona desert. They can often be seen crossing roads during the morning, evening, or at night. It's one of the most commonly found of our Arizona venomous reptiles. Safety tip: the first rule of finding venomous reptiles is to respect their space. Although venomous reptiles are definitely dangerous, they can be safely viewed from a distance. Don't get too close, and whatever you do, don't try to handle them or disturb them in any way. They aren't out to hurt you and just want to be left alone. Next, let's find the king of Arizona's rattlesnakes, the Mojave rattlesnake. Known for its potent venom, this snake is both feared and admired. This is one of the few species that can sometimes have a complex venom that is both neurotoxic and hemotoxic. Mojave rattlesnakes can be difficult to distinguish from the western diamondback, and they can occur in some of the same places. One of the ways that they can usually, but not always, be distinguished from the western diamondback rattlesnake is by the narrower black bands on its tail. Here's the tail of a western diamondback on the left, and here is the tail of a Mojave rattlesnake on the right. Next up, we're heading to higher elevations in search of the Arizona black rattlesnake. These snakes thrive at higher elevations in cooler, forested areas. And they're one of the most stunning species you'll ever see. Check this out, an Arizona black rattlesnake. Just look at all those dark scales. Isn't nature amazing? The juveniles often start out as a much lighter color like this one, gradually darkening as they mature until they are nearly completely black with a lighter pattern. Some populations of these snakes do not get fully black. Here's an example of an adult Arizona black rattlesnake that will not get any darker. These snakes are an absolute treat to see in the wild. If you thought this snake was impressive, just wait until you see snake number 12. It's getting dark, and that's the perfect time to find our next rattlesnake, the sidewinder. These snakes are famous for their sideways movements, leaving unique tracks in the sand. There it is, slithering like a zigzagging lightning bolt. How cool is that? Sidewinders are also known for the small horns or raised scales above their eyes. Some people believe that they help protect the sidewinder's eyes from the sun and sand. Sidewinders like to live in flat desert areas with loose soil and can be very common in those areas. The next snake I want to show you is one of my favorites, the black-tailed rattlesnake. Black-tailed rattlesnakes can be found in both the lower deserts in rocky mountains, like this one, as well as high up in elevations exceeding 9,000 feet, like this one. The black-tailed is very much a habitat generalist. Blacktails from some populations can have high contrast between dark blacks and bright yellows. In my experience, they tend to be more mellow than some rattlesnakes, but I do occasionally find one that's a bit more agitated, like this one. Another rattlesnake that likes rocky mountains and canyons. but prefers lower elevations, is the tiger rattlesnake. Tiger rattlesnakes are one of our more secretive rattlesnakes. They seem to be most found at night after summer rains in July, August, and September. The head of a tiger rattlesnake is typically proportionally smaller when compared to its body than most other rattlesnakes. In the grasslands and semi-desert grasslands of northern and northeastern Arizona, you can expect to find prairie rattlesnakes. Prairie rattlesnakes can be common in these areas and can be found both day and night. Arizona also has a smaller dwarf population of prairie rattlesnakes, which are sometimes called Hopi rattlesnakes. Arizona has 4 species of rattlesnakes that are protected species. They're protected either because they have a limited range and it is thought that they might be over-collected, or because their habitat is slowly shrinking. The first and most common of these protected rattlesnakes is the beautiful rock rattlesnake. Rock rattlesnakes occur in the small, isolated regions of southern and southeastern Arizona called the Sky Islands. Sky Islands are isolated mountains that rise up from the desert floor and have enough elevation change that they have multiple transition or life zones for plants and wildlife to live. In the lower to mid-elevation slopes on many of these Sky Islands, rock rattlesnakes, like this one, can be found. Just wait for snake number 12. Another of our protected rattlesnakes that can also be found in these Sky Islands is the Arizona state reptile, the ridge-nosed rattlesnake. Ridge-nosed rattlesnakes are often active during the day but can be found at night during the warmer months of the year. Such a cool animal. The twin-spotted rattlesnake is another protected rattlesnake that lives in some of the highest elevations of many of our highest Sky Island mountains. They are also most commonly seen during the day, but can be found at night during the warmer months. Unfortunately, this large twin-spotted rattlesnake was hit by a car as it was crossing a road at night. The last of our protected rattlesnakes, and our rarest of the protected rattlesnakes, is the Massasauga. Massasaugas inhabit grassland habitats in southeastern Arizona. This habitat is unfortunately slowly transitioning from desert grassland to semi-desert grassland or to desert. As this critical habitat recedes, so do the populations of Massasaugas. For many years, it was believed that Massasaugas only lived in one remaining grassland area in Arizona. Fortunately, another population has recently been found with a much healthier population, and for now, a much more stable habitat. I haven't yet found a live Massasauga in the wild and only have photographs of roadkill animals that I found. And now on to snake number 12, the snake we've been waiting for. This is the snake I've been wanting to share with you from the beginning, the speckled rattlesnake. Speckled rattlesnakes live in rocky desert mountains throughout much of western Arizona. But what's so amazing about speckled rattlesnakes? In my opinion, what makes them so incredible are the color variations that can be found in the different mountain ranges throughout the state. Some can be more of a drab brown color like this one, while others can be an incredible orange, red, or even pink. Some mountain ranges have animals which can be a pale blue or purple with flecks of black and gray. And yet other populations have this amazing peach and white coloration, which is hard to believe. These are amazing snakes that live in some very arid and unhospitable habitats. Please support our channel on Patreon to help us to continue bringing you more videos like this one. Amazingly enough, Arizona has a venomous lizard, the Gila monster. Gila monsters can be found in many of our desert areas in Arizona. These slow-looking, seemingly clumsy lizards are excellent climbers and can often be found in extremely rocky habitats. They spend the vast majority of their lives living underground in burrows and are rarely seen. If you're ever lucky enough to find one, keep a safe distance. These lizards are venomous and also a protected species. Gila monsters are truly a unique species. And now, on to some venomous snakes that we have here in Arizona that don't have rattles. The first is the coral snake. Coral snakes, which are venomous on the left, are often confused with the Arizona mountain king snake on the right, which is harmless. Coral snakes are small snakes up to about 2 feet in length. They're often found in desert areas with loose soil and near a creek, wash, or other moist area. Their favorite food seems to be blind snakes, and they will often be found in areas where blind snakes are present. To my knowledge, to date, there haven't been any bites that have been fatal to humans, possibly because coral snakes aren't commonly seen and tend to be quite small. Don't let that fool you though. You should always play it safe near a coral snake. Their venom is similar to that of a cobra. Never handle a coral snake. It's best to leave them where they are and observe them from a safe distance. The next 3 venomous reptiles are all snakes with a venom that is used to help them subdue their prey, but it is generally not considered to be dangerous to humans. The first of these snakes is, in my opinion, one of the prettiest little snakes that we have, the regal ringneck snake. Ringneck snakes are a pretty gray along their backs, but their bellies are a bright yellow-orange towards their head, and then becomes an incredible crimson red towards the tip of their tails. They often use this bright red tail as a way to frighten predators. Some ringnecks have a yellow or orange ring around their necks, while others have no ring at all. Lyre snakes are another of our venomous snakes whose venom generally isn't considered dangerous to humans. These snakes are strictly nocturnal, hunting rocky crevices for lizards, small rodents, and bats. These snakes are fairly common in rocky parts of the desert, but are very rarely seen because of their secretive and nocturnal nature. Another interesting venomous Arizona snake is the Mexican hognose snake. These snakes are often found in the morning or late afternoon. They have a unique, heavy body with an upturned snout. Sometimes, when found, they will roll over and play dead, or will hiss and puff out their necks, somewhat like a cobra, like this one. These huffy snakes like to put on a show and are a real treat to find. The last venomous snake we will show you is the night snake. There are actually 3 different species of night snakes in Arizona. They all look very similar. They're almost always found at dusk or at night. Their elliptical pupils help them to be able to see at night. They're fairly small snakes, usually less than 2 feet long. Between the 3 different species of night snakes that we have, night snakes can be found in almost every part of Arizona, at both low and high elevations. Such amazing snakes. Well, we did it. We found 18 of the 22 venomous reptiles of Arizona. This adventure proves that Arizona is full of life and wonder, if you know where to look for it. Remember, these creatures deserve our respect and protection. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next wild adventure.